So, anyone who turns out to be an opponent of these things is their adversary, to be rubbished and mocked and lied about. And anyone, any government, for example, let me just give one example. Hugo Chavez is the most elected politician in the entire world. Chavez has been elected no less than 11 times in elections and referenda in Venezuela. He has triumphed 11 times. And yet the media continues to describe him as a dictator, when no politician on earth has faced the electorate more often and succeeded. What they really mean is not that he's a dictator, but that they don't like what he's doing. They don't like what he's saying. And they can't get themselves out of the mindset, because usually such a person can be traduced as a dictator. In the case of Chavez, this is impossible, but it just comes naturally
because he's not
to them. Because Chavez is using Venezuela's money to lift the position of the poor masses in Venezuela, and thus upsetting the rich elite in Venezuela, who have voices in the West, in the mass media, and so on. Now, this leads me to your first point. And here I'm going to disappoint some of you. I always do on this. Just because there are conspiracies in the world, it doesn't mean that everything that happens in the world is a conspiracy. Just because the American state was capable of being involved, I believe, in the assassination of John Kennedy and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Bobby Kennedy, as I believe they were, it doesn't mean they flew the airplanes into the Twin Towers. Sometimes, if something walks like a duck, looks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it is a duck. And people motivated by the mindset and the worldview of bin Laden flew those airplanes into the Twin Towers. We have to get over it. That's a fact. We know that they attended flying schools in the United States. They're on film. We know that the people who were at the flying schools got on board the aircraft that were hijacked. It's on film. We know that the planes hit the building. It's on film. It's a big mistake to be drawn into this spaghetti junction of conspiracy theories about 9/11. And the same is true of 7/7. I don't know if there was a trial run that morning by some security outfit. I hear it. I think there's a case for an inquiry so that we can establish the truth. But the people that blew themselves up on the trains did blow themselves up. And we know who they are, because their DNA and their belongings and their faces were recovered from the wreckage. They were on the CCTV camera. But most conclusively of all, some of them left martyrdom videos recorded before they left for the operation, telling us why they were going to do it. So, I don't believe that it serves any purpose. It just makes us look crazy. And none of us wants to look crazy. To imagine that every single thing that happens is the result. Sometimes, some things are as they seem, and I believe that the 7/7 and 9/11 atrocities were such things.
Weren't they shot dead in Canary Wharf?